I'm pretty easy going. I get in where I fit in. So whether it's R&B or me,
All right, we'll get it. We'll get it for sure. Everyone can have a turn. Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Monday. We are back here with another episode of Nerdcamp Sports, fresh off of All Star Weekend. You know, we got be moderating tonight. Mike Williams got Raja Anthony Ali here, and Coach Will. R&B should be here shortly. Gentlemen, how are you today? How was your Monday? And what's your mental health on a scale of 1 to 10 today?
All right. Well, I'm doing pretty good. As far as my mental health goes, I would say a solid 7. I'm
Okay.
feeling a bit better. Feel a little bit better this week than I did the past couple weeks. We're getting the weather, like we mentioned earlier before we got on. The weather's getting a little bit better, so that makes everything a little bit more fun. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm at.
Absolutely. Will, how about you, my brother?
I'm doing all right, man. I would say probably about a 5. Probably about a 5. Had the day
Okay.
off today, and it was nice and quiet. So
All
Good.
right. All right. We'll take that. I'm about like a 7, 8. I had a good day at work, even though it was kind of difficult because places were closed. It was President's Day and stuff. But we made it through. Got here, was able to get on, and now we're ready to talk about some sports. So before I we get into the All Star Weekend, I seen some breaking news earlier that the Miami Dolphins have released Tyreek Hill. Um, and we could, I don't know if we could say we saw it coming, but I kind of thought maybe they're trying to move on from Tua. I believe they were one of the teams who got a new head coach, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I think they're really just in what is a full rebuild. So Will, what are your thoughts on Miami releasing Tyreek Hill, and what do they do at the position moving forward if they cannot move on from Tua?
Um, at quarterback or at receiver? When
Well,
you asking moving on from the position,
they're kind of married together.
I
So
got you.
so
I got
what
you.
I'm so to be a little more clear to the question is pretty much you're in a rebuild mode.
Right.
They're trying to move on from Tua. But what do you do at the wide receiver position moving forward if you cannot move on from Tua?
Um, I wasn't surprised that they cut him. Fairly certain they're gonna try and draft a quarterback. You know what I mean? Because they can't afford to. Even if they do cut to a, you know what I mean, and take that cap hit like Denver did a couple of years ago with Russell Wilson. Um, they're not in a position to trade for like a Kyler Murray or you know what I'm saying, one of the quarterbacks that are still question marks but proven. You know what I'm saying? They cost a little more, so I would assume that they're gonna try their best to find a quarterback in this draft. I think they pretty much had to move on from Tyreek because with that, like his leg got bit into a pretzel, man. Like you know what I'm saying? That's
Mm-hmm.
multiple injuries. I think ACL, broken fibula, something like it's like 2 or 3 serious injuries all in one. Um, excuse me. And for a receiver who is basically known for his speed, not exactly a you know what I mean sophisticated route runner. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know what he gonna look like coming back. If I'm not mistaken, they get something like $24 to $26 million. You know what I mean? In cap room for cutting him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it don't surprise me. You know what I mean that they cut him. Because even if they do and say they trade up for a quarterback, or we know how they whatever means they go by about getting a young quarterback in, they're not necessarily going to be able to count on Tyreek next year anyway. You know what I mean? We don't even know when he's going to be healthy enough to get back on the field because it's a good chance it won't be at the beginning of the season, and in training camp, and you know what I'm
Right.
saying, OTAs, And, at these times when a young quarterback who's getting reps, that's when you build your rapport with your receivers. So I don't think they really had any choice other than to, move on from that situation.
Okay. That's very valid points.
Oh, and one
So,
more thing.
go ahead.
One more thing. I'm sorry.
No
It
worries.
it wouldn't surprise me if they did go ahead and bite the bullet and cut ties with Tua.
They will.
Um,
Yep.
it's like it costs you too much money to have him sitting on the bench. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just kind of taking up space because we all know that unless if they did bring him back, but unless it's some kind of emergency situation, he's not gonna see the field in Miami again. You know what I'm saying? So they might just have to bite the bullet and take that cap hit. And cutting Tyreek might be part of them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a little easier to make that move if you move on from Tyreek.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. All right. I can respect that. R&B, what's up, brother? How are you tonight?
What's up,
What's
man?
going on, brothers?
What
What's
up, bro?
going on? My bad. Getting back in, just getting back in. What's
No
good?
worries. We only been on about five
All good.
minutes. What's your mental health at today? Scale of 1 to 10.
I'm at that. I'm at that stagnant five, man. That
Okay.
stagnant five. You know how it go.
Okay. All right. Well, we're talking about um, Tyreek getting released by the Dolphins. That was the one NFL topic that came across today. So Raj, to you
Mm-hmm.
for the Dolphins now. They they got a new coach too, right? They were on that list, right?
Yeah.
They're okay. So to you now, with everything going on and everything that they're doing, or you actually no, I'm not gonna ask you that question. In your opinion, what is the best fit for Tyreek Hill? Where?
You guys can hear me, right? I just want to make sure the audio's good.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Just making sure because when we get new people and I gotta hit the button. But here's the deal. And you guys gonna call me a homer, but I think Tyreek Hill will be perfect with the Jets. I mean, what do we have to lose? What does he have to lose? You know, I get it because a lot of people are saying, well, he's not going to be back for this upcoming season. I'm cool with that. I'm 1,000% cool with that as long as they buy low and get him in as fast as they can and kind of get him into the the regiment of getting healthy and get back to where he needs to be for the next season, the season after next. I'm fine with him being with the Jets or a team that needs a wide receiver that's like an option 2 or 3. He's not going to be the same Tyreek Hill after this point, especially because he's in his 30s, right? If my memory serves me correct.
I think he's
He's in
32.
Yeah, he's in his 30s, so he's pretty much at the twilight of his career. And I also feel that he needs to be in a market where it's not really expected for him to win right now. So, but but in all reality, honestly, I could see him going back to the Chiefs. And like if there was a team that he can choose, I think he goes back to the Chiefs and become like that third option um, for Patrick Mahomes in the next upcoming, like not this season, but in 2 seasons from now, just to kind of bring everything full circle.
So I just kind of want to put something kind of like to kind of not piggyback, but just have another question. Do
Sure.
you believe that, in your opinion, we've talked about ACL? Do you believe that Patrick Mahomes will be ready for next season? Meaning training camp when we get to August, or and all that stuff, July. Do you think Patrick Mahomes will be ready?
Um, no, I think it's going to take. He had an ACL injury or was it MCL? What was it?
I think it's that
It was
torn ACL.
ACL and a dislocated knee, I think.
Just yeah, it's going to take him a while. I think, and I hate that we got this freaking injury, man. That's a real serious injury. He might not be ready until like week 5, week 6. To be honest,
Now,
that's a ser- that's a very serious injury.
Oh, and then to Will's point, he was saying that Tyreek had the dislocated knee and the ACL as well because it was a grueling injury. That's one of those things you don't forget.
Right.
If Tyreek Hill were to go back there, and let's just say in a perfect world, you still have Kelsey and Mahomes, do you think, in your opinion, that they could bring another one home?
For me?
Yeah, that was for you, Raj. That was based off of your statement
Oh
about him going
no,
back to
no.
Kansas City.
I don't think he plays a huge significant factor into that. I mean, they will have to add more pieces. I think that with Patrick Mahomes being injured and them not really knowing who's going to be their number one wide receiver, they still got a lot to fix over there. So it might be a gap. It might be a gap year for the Chiefs this season. I think they're going to probably take a little bit of a dip and potentially kind of build that core up because we got to also remember Travis Kelce still haven't announced if he's coming back or not.
That's true.
So there's a lot that plays a factor into what happens for next upcoming season. Patrick Mahomes injury, Rashee Rice and his situation. What else? Them not knowing the status of Travis Kelce, if he's playing, if he's going to stay, or if he's going to retire. There's a lot. There's a lot going on over there in Kansas City. I feel for them because they've been spoiled for the past few years, but now it's kind of uncertainty over there in Kansas City.
All right. And R&B, for you, in your opinion, now, with what's the best direction for Tyreek Hill, in your opinion, moving forward? And what's the best thing the Dolphins can do as they start their rebuild?
Tyreek Hill moving forward, I hate to sound cliche, but the best thing he can do is to get 100% healthy. Because with a devastating injury like he had, where tear ACL and then you break a bone on top of that, that sounds tough to come back from. Now, with today's technology, the advanced medicine and everything like that, what I'm saying? Maybe it's a chance he can get back to being, what I'm saying, a percentage of that Tyreek Hill that we've seen before. Maybe not. Only time will tell us. But I think the best thing for him, like I said, is to try his best to get 100% healthy. And then as far as like moving forward, his choosing a team. For him, he definitely at this point in his career, I would feel like he would want to try to go to a contender. He's won a Super Bowl before. He's had multiple big contracts. So, what I'm saying, with that being said, I definitely think that at this point in his career, it's about maybe trying to win more Super Bowls, win more championships. So I would see himself trying to align himself with a team that's maybe a receiver away. Uh, Even though I think that we have to wait to see it, I
Right.
don't think that it will be a situation like Raj is saying where he'll go somewhere and possibly be a third receiver at best. This is his first, like real catastrophic injury of his career. Um, so I'm gonna just give him the benefit of the doubt of watching his greatness and say that I think that he could still return to being a number one receiver in the NFL. It might not look like what it did before, but just the veteran IQ, the route running ability, so on and so forth, should be able to get him some leeway there. But as far as the Dolphins, I don't know if anybody's seen that they have released Chubb as well. So
I've
that
seen that.
definitely clearly tells us that they are headed into a rebuild situation. So for me, I Who did they hire as a head coach? I don't remember their hire.
Some random person.
Hold
It's
on,
got to
I'll
be a
look it
random
up.
white boy, some coordinator from a team or something like that.
Yeah, something
But
like that. Coordinator, I believe.
Did they hire who hired Sean McVay, offensive coordinator? He got a job, right? Was that with Miami?
not sure. I would have to. I gotta look that one up. Let's see. But I don't know. With Miami, man.
They hired Jeff Halfley.
Yeah, I don't know who he is.
Um, I'm trying to see. This doesn't really give much on. Hold on. It says he served as defensive coordinator for the Packers. Had a role with them for 2 seasons. 20 during the 24-25 season. That's the primary. That's like the most recent stuff.
Yeah. As far as what I
It's
see,
not
that's the
really
most recent
talking
stuff.
about. Yeah, that's recently where he was. It's not really talking about anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had some time with the 49ers. He spent 7 seasons in Ohio State. He was a defensive backs coach. So a lot of his NFL stuff came with the Niners, though. A little bit
So
here
it
with
sounds
Cleveland.
like they already shit the bed with the head coach hire.
Yeah.
I'm not that impressed with what I'm reading and what I'm seeing. Miami is Miami, man. As far as I can remember, you know what I'm saying, from watching football, they've never been a great franchise. They've never really had like great teams. They've been, one of them teams that maybe make the playoffs once or twice and then they kind of go back into the, lottery of the draft, top 10 picking and stuff. And, that I mean, I think not to go there, but I think all the shit that came out about the Dolphins after the whole Brian Flores shit kind of really exposed them and that owner for what they are and who they are. So I don't expect much out of them. Fuck
Mm-hmm.
the Dolphins. They just, whatever. They'll try to go into this rebuild and they gonna be the Dolphins. That's how I see it until something different happen or shows.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
real
true.
talk, the Dolphins ain't been right since Jimmy Johnson forced Dan Marino out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a
You're right
fact.
about that, Will. That's a fact. I forgot about that.
They might be cursed shit for what they
Yeah,
did to Dan Marino. For real.
that's
And
like
then
that's
started
like
like Jay Fiedler or some shit like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they kind of like speculate there was a curse in the movie Ace Ventura?
Was
Yeah.
it a curse?
It was something
Was
like that.
it?
Oh, that's
So,
hilarious.
Pet detective.
so now we got to talk about it. NBA All Star Weekend. Oh, God.
Oh yes, sir.
Uh, oh, God. So I guess I'll start with the positive light. We're going to start with the 3-point contest.
Okay.
Um, to me, I think it's a damn shame that a player who tore his Achilles and hasn't played or touched the ball all season in terms of like on a court, like in a game, right? Can come in, walk in, and just complete a hat trick on this 3-point contest. Kudos to Dame. I will say that was that, and I'm not
Hey,
hating.
Dala.
I'm just saying
No,
it was.
I get what you're saying. I don't think that's hate.
It was entertaining. To me that was the highlight of Saturday. Um, and I just was in awe of that. But I'm gonna start with you, R&B, on this one. What were your thoughts on we were texting a little bit, you know, you got a little late. It's a little late, but what were your thoughts on the whole contest as a whole? You know, and do you feel that it's right? Like meaning, do they need to change anything?
As far as the 3-point contest,
Yeah, like your thoughts on the contest itself and if there need to do
my
any changes.
I enjoyed it. I did kind of share the same sentiment, not in a hatred way. I did kind of sit there happily and watch Dame Lillard win and say to myself, like, damn, they done let this nigga come and beat them for for 3 in a row, and he ain't even touched the ball in over a year or been on the court in over a year. I'm like, but that's a testament to a great shooter. D Book gave him all he can handle, though. He tried. D Book definitely tried.
Absolutely.
But um, no, man, I I enjoyed the 3-point contest. My only issue with it, and I think I had text this to the group, is that I hate how they've limited the rounds the way that they did. And if you ain't got no other, if you don't have any other good competitions to fit in there to make up for that, which we seen that, it kind of wasn't. Um, with that being said, you should have left the 3-point competition as far as the rounds to allow it to be longer, like it once
What
was, because
I'm a little just confused what you mean when you say they limited the rounds.
it's shorter now. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it used to be like 3 or 4 rounds. I mean,
Yes, it
no,
did.
not three. I think it used to be like 4 or 5 rounds,
Mm. Yeah, I think
and
you should
not
be
now
three. I
it's
think you should be three or right. How many rounds did they
I
do?
remember.
Nah,
Okay, I remember three. Yeah.
it,
Okay.
it's
I thought.
definitely shorter now than it used to be because
Yeah,
it's and that's all I was really saying. That would it be in the highlight of Saturday night? They should have just left it as is and let it been the longest competition instead of wasting our time, with all this other stuff that we kind of don't enjoy. I did like the whole little 3-3-3-3. The legends with the young teammates and all that.
oh,
Ryan Hopper out there.
the shooting stars event.
Yeah,
I love that.
the teams of three, it was smooth. It was okay or whatever. But at the end of the day, the highlight of Saturday night has always been the 3-point competition, and they should have left it, the way it was, where it was a little longer. Just so we can enjoy the shooting a little longer. That's all.
Right.
For no other reason, but to just make it more enjoyable a little longer. Because it was good. I have no complaints about it. Everybody showed up and shot that bitch.
Showed out.
Whether it was one good round or a whole bunch of good rounds, everybody, I think, kind of shot well. So
So, um, oh Lord, I forgot. Had a question going to you, Raj, but I forgot what it
Yep,
was. Oh man, lost my train of thought.
it's
Um.
all good.
Oh, okay, I got it. So after Game One, we know who we want to see return. We know it. It's the right thing to do. If you had to put together, and actually, I think maybe you Will and R&B want to come into this question too. But if you had to put together a list of who you would like to see in that dream shootout, and obviously constructed of current players,
Hmm.
for the 3-point contest next season, who would it be? Because right now they talking Dame, they talking Steph, and they talking
Hmm.
Clay.
Yep.
Who else would
Yeah.
you add to those three as it is now? If you had to add five more players to make it eight.
And I'm glad you said that
uh,
because I'm gonna do it like this. And I know you guys were kind of alluding to the other events that were happening as far as like the shooting stars contest and stuff like that. But let's add these people as well. Outside of I'm gonna give you guys four NBA players. I think they should. I mean, two NBA players and two WNBA players. I think should be in there. The number one is Kevin Durant. He should be in there, right?
Okay.
You bring back Booker. Okay. You bring back
Okay.
Devin Book. Obviously Clay, Curry and Dame. And then the two WNBA players I would love to see added in there is Sabrina Ionescu and Caitlin Clark. Add them
So
in there.
so you need one more player
Um,
if you had to
Con,
make it.
I love Con Knipple. I think he's the next one up. I think
Okay.
I think I think the Con man definitely going to be a 3-point shooter. That's going to be in the 3-point contest a lot. Or you could throw in Donovan Mitchell if you want. He's a good shooter too. But I like Con Knipple. I think he's nice. I think he came in third place if my memory serves me correct.
Yeah,
He
he
was up
did.
there with Book, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
he came in third.
Okay, so yeah, add him in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, get these shooters out there, but also add the WNBA players in there as well. And the reason why I'm saying it is because this is a non-contact type competition. I don't know if you guys remember. This is like probably like over 11 years ago, 12 years ago, with the Shooting Stars competition. They did have the WNBA players with the NBA players. So they had like New York Liberty and some New York Knicks players together in the competition that we just saw that they just brought back called the Shooting Stars. So
But yeah,
they,
it was more of a team thing though.
yeah, but
No, it
that's
was
what I'm
it
saying.
was it was the same. It was almost the exact same as Shooting Stars.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
spots on the court. You know what I mean?
yep,
Everybody had to make a shot before the next person. You know what I mean? Or whatever, and they had to hit all three spots. And the last shot was the half court shot, and it
right,
was time.
exactly. So
Yeah,
why
I remember
not?
that.
So why not add the WNBA players into the 3-point contest? Like two of the best 3-point contest shooters. Like you add in, like I mentioned, Sabrina
'Cause
Nescu, who can hit those deep threes, and
She just had a
Caitlin Clark.
shootout with Steph a couple years ago,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
know what
she
I
did.
mean.
exactly.
So it's precedence for it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind watching like a one-on-one shootout or something, kind of like what her and Steph did. But as far as like just inserting the WNBA players into the NBA 3-point shootout, I don't want to see that because I want their competition to stand on its own. That's why when they were talking about Caitlin Clark getting in it like a couple years ago, she declined and wouldn't do it because she said she wanted to do the WNBA's first because she felt like that was more important to set the precedent for the WNBA for their own 3-point shootout, and I respect it.
okay,
Let the men be the men, let the women be the women.
I will say, I think the WNBA benefited from the fact that like Sabrina Ionescu really pressed that nigga Steph.
she
Like
did
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
It ain't like he went out there and cooked her. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like
and
it
yeah,
was competitive. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it's competitive.
uh,
yep, yeah. That
And
was good. That was good for press.
and I will say that um it is respectable that she did that to say that, because that's her league, right?
yeah.
Um, and I think the WNBA is doing good, at least in the last 2 years of gaining exposure and getting better, getting stronger. So for her, I think it's a beautiful thing to do. But I see. I don't disagree with what you're saying, Raj, but I do agree with what you're saying, R&B, that it should be separate. They can't ride the coattails of the NBA. It's just not gonna work for them. It's not gonna work for them. Will, what were your thoughts on the 3-point contest, brother? Did you I know you said you were at work, so I don't know if you got to enjoy it or not, but you know, what do you
Uh-huh.
think is what are the takeaways you got from it?
I still ain't watched it yet. I still ain't watched like I watched some of Sunday. I didn't really see too much of Saturday yet, but I got it on my DVR. I'm still gonna watch it. But I know what happened. Don't surprise me that Dame did what Dame did. He ain't ready for like 5-on-5 contact yet, but I'm like clearly he been shooting. Like you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And his rehab
Absolutely.
is progressing. And that's what Dame do. You know what I mean? So it would be different for me if he went out there and like actually played in the All-Star game and was out there cooking. That would be like the crazy part, you know. But he been rehabbing. That injury happened what in April. So we talking about
Yep.
you know what I mean, 10 months now. You know what I mean? A rehab. It's been almost a year now. You know, shit. We see Tatum. You know what I mean? They talk about him. He doing 5-on-5s now. You know what I mean? So it's like that. He a lot closer to, you know what I mean, being on the court. You know what I mean? Than from where he was when he got injured. Like I said, and Dame is like I said. I don't. It, the older that I've gotten, the harder it is for me to call like a non-Detroit Piston like one of my guys like that. Like I'm a fan of. You know what I mean? A lot of people, but it's very few people that I'm like, yeah, like that's one of my guys. Dame is one of my guys. You know, so it's just, you know, he ain't. When I found out that he was in the contest, I'm like, oh, he gonna win that bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause he wouldn't be putting himself out there if he didn't feel like he was, you know what I mean, capable of going out there and doing what he needed to do. And I feel like, you know, that and you know what I mean, the fact that for the most part Sunday was really competitive. Like that was the biggest story, you know what I mean, coming out of the All-Star weekend. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think it was a win for everybody. I mean, you know, except for Book and Knipple and all of them. You know.
So I'm glad you brought up Sunday because that's a transition or a segue to it. This question is for all three of you. Whoever wants to go first, just go ahead. Do you like the new format of the All-Star game? And why? And if you don't like it, why?
I'll go first. I'll say I love it. I think that this was probably the most competitive All Star game I've witnessed um, from beginning to the end. You know, there was really no let down as far as the competition. People were playing lockdown defense. I've witnessed people go to the free throw line multiple times during the game. So that's the reason why I love it. Plus, not to mention, it gave you the opportunity to see three different type of games because you had the old school players, which is the old heads, right? And then you had the young and upcoming all stars, and then you had the international players. So it gave you opportunity to see the three different type of teams. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just like, okay, we're just gonna put a whole bunch of good people on one side. It was evenly balanced. The time was kind of was kind of dragging towards the last quarter because the old heads was basically gassed at that point. But to see Kawhi Leonard go off like that for those 3 games or those 2 games, I think was great. Um, if I could make a tweak to it, I would say probably do it in a tournament instead of a round robin type format where you have four type of teams. I don't know what the fourth one would be, but you have four type of teams, and then you have one at the end. You know what I'm saying? So like they go against each other, and then whoever wins those go to the championship or whatever. But I thought it was great. I loved it.
All right. Whoever wants to go next, Will or R&B?
Hop in here. I did like it, but I still felt like the NBA dropped the ball, and here's why. Um, it should have just been USA versus the 15 best USA players, the 15 best world players, and they just go ahead and do it like they do it every year. That's what I think a lot of people were anticipating. That's what I think a lot of people thought they were going to get. But instead, we ended up with the format that we got. Now I'm not completely mad at it because it was entertaining. They did play hard and all that good stuff like that. But I just kind of would have rather seen the 15 on 15. That's all. Other than that, you know, I liked it.
So before you go, Will, because my point kind of goes with his. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that was my thing too. The three teams was weird. But to me, the only thing that I would be concerned about is if they did it that way after this year, would it go back to the same thing, right? Because to me, like having that third team is what created that competitive nature. Now, if you do it this year, the world versus the USA, this year, it's the first one. Everyone's playing hard. They want to be the first one to do it. But
Mm-hmm.
I would be concerned moving forward if the same thing could happen every year. Because once you do it once, it's like, all right, we did that. I use a wrestling reference. The Royal Rumble. When they brought in the women's Royal Rumble 8 years ago or whatever it is now, everyone wanted to be a part of it. They booked it pretty good. They did a real good job with it. Now they don't give a two shits about that women's Royal Rumble. It is always the first match. And the first year they did it though was the last match, right? So now it's like, well, we did it, and now it's just a normal thing. So they don't care. That would be my only thing I'd be worried about. But with the third team, to me, it might keep that competitive edge. I hope it does, at least. I mean, but that's just my only takeaway from it.
Um, I agree with some of the things that each of you said. I feel like the All Star roster should be expanded. I've been feeling like that for a while now. Almost 40 players in the league averaging 20 points right now, which is like crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's probably 40 some odd players that are like all star caliber. We used to talk about, couple players here, a couple players there getting, you know what I'm saying, passed over. And now it's like I can name 5 players from each conference that really had a legitimate case. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like they should expand the rosters. I feel like if they expand it to 32, you can get 4 teams, 8 players each, tournament
Mm-hmm.
style. I would rather have it be a tournament than a round robin.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when you do it that way, you're not, even though in the traditional format, you're not asking anybody to play, 36, 40 minutes in the All Star game, but to sub 8 players, a 8 player rotation for 12 minutes, it's easier to go out there and give your 4 or 5 minutes and play real hard and play real defense. You know what I mean? And not really worry about getting hurt out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I'm not opposed to like the us versus them, U.S. versus international. I just don't. I don't love it. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like. I think what added a lot to Sunday was the dynamic that it was the OGs, it was the young guns, and then it was the international players. You know what I mean? I think that added like a dope, especially Ant said it. You know what I mean? Wimby came out and kind of set the tone, and
He did.
he was gonna go. He was gonna go at whoever anyway. Like that's just how Ant is. But like I feel like the youngins kind of set the tone, and this might have been like the changing of the guard. Kind of, we might look back at this as a changing of the guard in the league. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So it was like I say, I like the format. I ain't in love with it, but I liked it. I feel like it worked. It went really really well. Um, you know, we we're not really used to like our league changing shit in real time. We kind of grow up. We grew up
Right.
with it the way it was for so long, and when they if they leave it the same way, complain about that shit. You know what I mean? If they tweak it, we don't like that. So like they trying to figure it out in real time, and I ain't mad at, you know what I'm saying. And it's the All Star game at the end of the day. Like who really cares? Because if somebody really went out there and got hurt, you know what I mean, that would be a whole nother thing. So I ain't mad at them trying to, you know what I mean, trying to, you know what I mean, figure out the sauce, you know what I mean, as they cooking. You know what I mean? Like as long as they figure something out, because as much as I love watching some basketball, and I can watch almost any kind of basketball, that shit was just getting to be unwatchable. I don't want to see everybody stepping across half court and shooting 30-foot threes. You know what I'm saying, for 4 quarters.
Right.
Like I ain't got no interest in that. You know.
And that's just it. You know, me and Raj were talking before backstage for you had came in and R&B had came on about changes and things of that nature. And I think that when things get stale, um, or no, before I even say that, we were talking about how you can't make everyone happy. Like
Yep.
people's always gonna be upset. There's gonna be something that people don't like, and you're
Mhm.
not gonna make all your fans happy. You're just not. Like, you know, people are gonna be like, all right, well, this sucks, but guess what? This is the decision the league has made. This is, you know, I have the choice to not watch. Like, you know, if I don't agree with something or I don't like something, why waste my time watching it?
Right.
But like I think to your point, it's true. People don't like it changing in real time, but it needed to be changed. Like you said, it became, you know, Dame was shooting logo threes from half court. Um, you know, and you just got guys, you know, I remember one year, a few years seeing Shaq cross up someone and shoot a three, like, you know, obviously years when he was playing, you know, but you know, it just became a I'm a
That was the exception, though. You know what I'm saying? That was the exception. That was just one of them things that is gonna happen once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shaq wasn't gonna keep jacking up threes. You know, like,
right. It was the same thing too when they did when they did it to Kobe. You know, they did it for Kobe and they did the target score. Look how
Right.
quickly they had to change that because I mean,
uh,
I felt it was more
But that,
competitive
that,
with that.
I about to say those were a different time though because they would give us a little something to enjoy, you know, and laugh at or be excited about. But then once it got down to it, it was like, all right, nah, we, you know, let's ball.
Yeah,
It was just different.
the only thing
What
I
Will
didn't like.
saying, they never got to a let's ball point recently. They just kept
Yep.
trying to entertain us, and it wasn't entertaining.
Mm-mm.
can I say
Exactly.
something? The
Yeah,
worst
go ahead.
thing to ever happen to the All-Star game is the 3-point shot.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the worst thing that ever happened to the All-Star game. Like, because if you go back on, even if you go back and watch the '80s and the '90s All-Star games, like, yeah,
Yeah,
they were more competitive and they played harder, but the score was still like 153 to 137, and motherfuckers wasn't shooting threes like that back then. So
That's
they was
true.
getting buckets. Like, it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like it was a lot of
Yeah.
dunks and layups in them All-Star games. You know what I mean? But now just watching everybody just come down and pull up for them long ass threes, that shit is just not interesting to me.
You know what? You know what's so funny, and I know you guys. I don't know if you guys are going to agree or disagree, but I watch all the type of All Star games, right? I watch you know, obviously the Pro Bowl, NFL, NHL, and also MLB. I gotta say this: MLB is probably the most entertaining All Star game
Mm,
out of all the four major sports,
by far.
and I'm gonna tell you why I think this way.
I think that's just recently though.
No, it's always
That's
been that
just
way.
recent years. Hell
I'm gonna
no.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you can't fake or you can't make a person hit a home run. Like a 3-point shot is a 3-point shot. That's basically like a home run in the NBA. I mean, in
So
the
you
NHL.
telling me a pitcher can't take a little bit off
Of course, they can take a
to
little
give a
bit off,
batter a better chance?
but hitting a ball coming at you 70, 80 miles per hour, that's not something you can fake. Like you're either going to
It's
hit the
not.
ball or not. You either going
It's
to hit the
not.
but
I
ball.
I
don't
think
disagree, but
I think what he's saying is it's kind of like I would compare it to like if a football player were to let the air out of the ball so the receiver could catch it, a
Right.
pitcher could throw 50 miles an hour and he could smack that ball with a little more ease, is kind of, you know, what he's
Yeah.
But
saying.
but the nature of the game of baseball. translates the easiest to an all-star game. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Right.
baseball,
Exactly.
baseball is the least physically taxing out of all four of those sports. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? By far, and it's not even close. It's just that the motherfuckers literally play every day. They play 162 games, so
Yeah.
it's more wear and
But
tear. And obviously,
are we
baseball
talking?
players get hurt too. But
But are we talking physically taxing or are we talking entertainment?
Well.
let,
Well.
let me let me finish. Let
Yeah.
me
Go
finish.
ahead.
So the entertainment value in the baseball All Star game is because it's the closest you're gonna get to an actual league game and an All Star game.
Right.
Basketball players are not gonna play 100% in an All Star game, and again, they haven't probably since the '60s or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Football players are definitely not out there trying to take each other's head off in the Pro Bowl. Hockey,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, is almost as physical as football. The motherfuckers be flying around at 20 something miles an hour. So they not trying to kill each other in the All Star game. Baseball is not physically taxing in that way. And the way that it's designed, like even if number one, if you're a pitcher, you only gonna get to pitch one inning at best. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So you gonna
And
go
that's
out
what
there and try to make the best out of that shit, and you gonna try to mow them three motherfuckers. Hopefully you only facing three batters. Hopefully you get them three up, three down. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
just baseball just translates very very well. It's basically a real game. It's just way more substitution. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But for all intents and purposes, it's played exactly like a real baseball game would be played. That's the only difference is that you try to sub as many players in as you can. And
No, I don't
once they
disagree,
I
but
think
I
they
can
changed
say
it,
that
but
it's
once they
always
made
been
the
more entertaining, though.
shit man, especially once they made the team that won that league got home field advantage. Like
Mm-hmm.
they coach them games like real games because if your team and I don't know why they changed that rule. I thought that was a dope rule. But they
Yeah.
play like the baseball All Star game is played like a real game. You know what I mean? You don't really see people getting hurt like that in baseball on the field and shit all that often.
Right.
It's different than basketball and football and hockey.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, the last thing I'm gonna say about that is that the pitchers are super hyper competitive because they're only playing one inning, like you mentioned, right? So somebody like let's say Paul Skeen, he gonna go out there, he gonna get them straight, three strikeouts, boom, 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 three Ks, versus it being like uh let's say in a basketball game, somebody just chilling and just hitting three pointers the whole entire time. You know what I'm saying? But like it's one of those type of things. Like I said, either you're gonna hit the ball or you're not. So regardless, it's a hyper competitive all star game, and it's been like that because these guys can't fake baseball, just like you can't fake
Name, name,
football.
name me, name me the best All Star game in the past 15 to 20 years. Right now, you got 10 seconds.
Okay, anything that had Ken Griffey Jr. in it, Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa. I mean, any of those
You
type of All Star
failed.
games. No,
You
that's not a
failed.
fail. All of
That's a
those were
fail.
good All Star
That's
games.
a
All of
fail.
those '90s.
If these All Star games were that great, you should be able to tell me at least 1 year off the top of the dome. If you challenge me with that, I definitely would have gave you 2001 NBA All Star games, but like at the drop of a dime.
And that's
I could have
fine. But
gave
what
you
I'm saying,
2005 at the drop of a dime
okay,
of
and that's fine.
entertaining All
You
Star
said
games
you said
versus a
15
baseball.
years. If we gonna be fair, you said 15 years.
Right.
I said 15 to 20.
Okay. But here's the thing. Last year's was great. The year before that was great. All of those are great. It's just that people don't pay attention to baseball like that.
They can't be that great then.
That doesn't mean they're not entertaining. If you're a fan, if it doesn't, it's not
I
about the
agree with y'all that
popularity.
it's a less taxing sport and that it's more easily transferable to an All Star game. But to sit up
Yeah.
and say that it's always been the most entertaining All Star game, I will not agree with that statement. I will
Okay.
not.
And once again, that's an
Because I've watched
opinion.
some baseball All Star games, and I've watched some NBA All Star games, and I've watched some NFL Pro Bowls. Now I've never watched the NHL All Star game. I can admit that, but
Look, I've never watched a Pro Bowl that I was like, damn, that was one hell of a game. And I don't watch the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like
I've
that's
I've
never happened. Uh,
I've watched some Pro Bowls where I was impressed with some shit that I seen, but yeah, it's never been like, oh, that was a hell of a game. It's just more so you get to see exciting shit happen,
man,
like some of the Moss plays from back in the day when they was all over there. Ray Lewis tearing somebody up going across the middle, even though it was a Pro Bowl game, he didn't give a fuck. Shit like that would happen.
bro, I remember two Pro Bowl plays. One was Marshall Falk when he was still with the Colts, and he just for real he was out there on his Barry Sanders shit, like going crazy. And the other one is Sean Taylor when he fucking evaporated the goddamn punter
I
or kicker or
remember
whoever
that.
that was.
Yeah, I remember
Them my memories of the Pro Bowl. It's
that.
so we clear. Like my favorite All Star game is always going to be like the NBA All Star game. It's never got not going to be that. And the most entertaining out of all, like I would rank NBA. I'm saying more like in a vacuum. Like it's easier to have a competitive baseball game as an exhibition than it is a basketball or a football shit. You know what I'm saying? Or a hockey. Like it's just they don't translate the same into an exhibition. Shit, even in the fucking NFL preseason, like unless you know what I mean, a rookie or playing for a contract, you know what I mean, niggas out there playing not to get hurt.
And
Facts.
at
That's
the
what
end
it
of the
comes.
day, that just sounds to me like what y'all basically saying is it's easier to get baseball players to play hard for an All Star game, but just because it's easier to get them to play
No,
hard don't mean that it's
that's
more
that's
entertaining.
that's not what I'm saying. It's not.
Yeah,
I'm not. It ain't even about playing hard or not playing hard. In baseball, most of the game, you spend most of the game standing around, literally, or sitting on the bench. If you're not the pitcher or you're not the batter, you spend the vast majority of the game fucking standing there or sitting there. It's just not the same thing. You know what I mean? And if you got a pitcher up there striking motherfuckers out, you know what I'm saying? Your defense might not get too much action at all that night. You know what I'm saying? Like they might chase a few fly balls down or some shit. You know what I mean? Shag a few ground balls, but like baseball just ain't active like that. It's a lot of standing around and waiting in baseball.
Yeah.
hmm
I have to say though, the
Absolutely.
offensive numbers have gone up though in baseball. Like it's a lot more runs being scored these days. Like we done had games over the past couple seasons where motherfuckers getting up into the 20s and shit. Like what the fuck?
That's true.
Absolutely. Well, there's one more topic about this All Star weekend we have to discuss. And it gives me headaches just thinking about it. And I'm gonna ask it the way I seen it asked on first take today. Does the dunk contest need to go?
No.
No.
You can't get rid of the dunk contest as long as All Star Weekend is around in the NBA. I know that we, what I'm saying, said that 3 point is the highlight of Saturday. We all know is one of the highlights of Saturday, along with the dunk contest, and we know that what Sunday do. But I think All Star Weekend overall for a long time, at least when it was more entertaining, the number one thing a lot of us look forward to was the dunk contest. It's a part of the tradition, so I don't think you can get rid of it. I think you just have to. I guess just like what they doing with the All Star game, they got to try to figure out new ways to reinvent. They got to try to figure out how to get more entertaining dunkers, or those who have the ability to do the more entertaining and creative dunks to get involved. What type of things can they offer to these young players to get them to be involved? I know
I
a lot
got
of times people will say it's not too many dunks that you can create nowadays, but it is still some new creativity out there as far as what the YouTubers do and stuff like that, or different shit that's out there, street dunkers. But and yet and still, I think that the dunk contest has always been a replica of errors. Like a lot of the dunks that we, fell in love with T Mac and Kobe and Vince and them doing. All of those dunks are not original. Maybe done in different
True.
ways, but not original. Vince Carter going through the legs. That's not original. You know what I'm saying? Like people had done that dunk like time and time before, but it's the fact that he did it and making it his own and the flawlessness in which he performed when he did the dunk contest that made everybody fall in love with him and his dunks that year. And so I think that they just got to try to figure some things out, man. Just try to figure out how to get these young bulls involved.
I
Go
got
ahead,
an
Rod.
idea, real
Go
quick.
ahead.
I promise I won't be long at
You
all.
get no
R&B just
worries.
reminded me. So here's what I would do if I'm Adam Silver, I would offer, let's say, $1 million to, or let's say $2 million to whoever wins the dunk contest. You get one up and coming rising star in the NBA, right? You get
Okay.
one you get one G leaguer, you get one content creator dunker or YouTuber, and you get like a mid-tier superstar in there. I guarantee you that will be the best competition we'll possibly see. And the reason I'm saying it is because even at a rookie contract, right? How much they make? Like 7 million, 11 million, 12 million. I don't know how much they make.
You a lottery pick.
A lottery pick makes like what? Let's
High
say,
lottery, high lottery is probably starting 7, 8 million, something like that.
okay. So even with that, I promise you that YouTuber or that content creator dunker and that G League dunker are going to go the hell off. You're going to see dunks you never even seen before because they're going to be ultra competitive to win that 2 million, and that will make everybody step their game up. So that's my solution. Put some hungry wolves in that competition and watch how everyone stands up and ended up performing the right way they're supposed to.
What about you?
Make it worth their while though. The hunt got to be worth it.
I definitely agree that they need to put some real money up. You know what I'm saying? This is a multi-billion-dollar league. You know what I mean? Y'all selling franchises. Lakers went for what, 10 billion, and it
Yeah,
wasn't
Yeah.
even the whole franchise. You know what I'm saying? It was what,
Right.
67% or something like that, 70%, something like that, whatever it was.
Crazy.
And still got to stay as the governor.
Man. So I definitely think if they put some real money up, obviously that's gonna help. Um, I don't think it have to be. I don't think it has to be like Ant. You know what I'm saying? It just got to be somebody well known enough. Because again, I think I said this last week. Like some of the most iconic, you know what I mean, dunk contests wasn't like superstars. You know, Zach Levine versus Aaron Gordon. You know what I
yeah.
mean, Jason Richardson. Um, it's I just it's still dunks to be done. Because again, like 20 something years ago, they was saying, man, we gotta get rid of the dunk contest because there ain't nothing else to do. Nothing, no, and like Ryan was talking about, like it's like building. If you like to a basketball analogy, it's like building combinations out on the court. You know what I'm saying? When I get to this spot, what are my options? I like to have 2, 3 options. People just kept building on shit. So like the between the legs, first person I saw do it was J.R. Ryder when
Yep.
he won the
Yep, he
dunk
was the
contest.
first one.
You know what I'm saying? And he say he got it from somebody else.
Yep.
He say he
I
wasn't the
didn't
one
know
that
that.
created it. He saw somebody else do it in Oakland, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Um,
East Bay Funk.
but he did it the way he did it off the baseline. Kobe came off the elbow. You know what I'm saying? It made it look just different enough. Vince caught it off the bounce. Jason Richardson threw that bitch off the backboard.
Off the
You know what I'm
backboard.
saying? Like people,
Then
like
did the reverse.
it, you know what I mean? Uh, off reverse off the bounce off the baseline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's so it's got to be like somebody with creativity. Even I think Aaron Gordon kind of gave people the playbook because even a lot of what he did, like it was crazy enough, like just physically what the fuck he was out there doing. But he brought the mascot out and put him on the fucking hoverboard and shit. When
That was
hoverboards was
crazy.
popping and all the kids had like, you know what I mean? Didn't he bring a drone out or some shit? Like it's not just the dunks at this point. Like it's gotta be like you gotta be like a showman too. You know what I'm saying? And add things that is going, catch people attention. And again, this is just added on to the degree of difficulty, which is, you know what I mean, the biggest issue anyway, because you can't just do, you know what I mean, oh, same old shit. Like it's harder. It's in a general sense, it's harder, even impress people anymore. Much less with all the different kind of dunks we done seen. So I kind of like your idea, Raj. I don't know what the answer is. You know what I mean? I kind of like your idea, but I think they just got to be a little more creative with it and figure, in figuring it out. And like I say, I don't think it got to be, like the face of the league. You know what I mean? But somebody that's good enough, you know what I mean, that's gonna get people attention and know how to, you know what I mean, kind of play the game. You know what I mean? Understanding that it's not just going out there and doing dope dunks and winning the dunk contest. It's the bigger picture in all of this.
Yeah. And
I
like you just said,
do.
some of those dunks that you named, if we seen somebody come out and recreate some of those dunks and do it, at a flawless level, we gonna be just like the dudes who had seen some of the stuff that they was doing in the '80s that's when they seen it again in the '90s and the 2000s. Oh,
Yep.
that's gonna be us. 'Cause
Man,
that's all we asking for is somebody to just come out and be give us a flawless show. Because the best dunk contest is when you had the ones who knew how to go out there and execute at a flawless level.
I hate that. I hate that James White didn't get to be in the dunk contest until he was like past his prime. Y'all know who James White is, right?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
was
Like
on the
White,
Knicks.
yeah. He
Yeah.
they stole the McDonald's dunk contest from him, you know what I mean, and gave it to David Lee. But
Mhm.
like that shit that Zach Levine was doing, coming from the free, like catching it off the bounce on the free, Light White was
Mhm.
doing that at the McDonald's dunk contest. You know what I mean, as a senior in high school.
Yep.
Look at
Yeah.
like go on YouTube and find it. Like he was doing that shit back then, and it took him forever to get to the league. I would have loved to see him in the NBA dunk contest when he was in his prime. That boy was wild.
Mhm.
I can't say I agree. They shouldn't get rid of it, but it definitely needs a severe facelift. Um, in my opinion, there's a lot of things the NBA needs to be facelifted um, right now. But this is one of them because this just, for you to put the highlight first. The best part of Saturday night was the 3-point contest, and that opened the show. It's like, damn, y'all wanted to make sure y'all ended the night with depression, though. Y'all wanted to make sure we was sad at the end of the show. Start you up here, but we gonna end you down here. like, but I think that I agree with all the points all of you made. I don't have much to really add because you guys pretty much said everything. But I don't think it's the stars that need to come in. I don't think it's, even I just competitiveness. That's all I want is competitiveness. And I've said that. Y'all know I like competitiveness and
Well,
closeness and that.
I think that the gentlemen that were out there Saturday did try to compete. They just weren't good enough,
Right.
and that's what we are talking about. They weren't. Those weren't the ones. I'm sorry, Jace. You're not your father. That was a bad spill. He built like a running back out there trying to do all that shit. Like they not the
Yeah,
ones.
that spill was rough.
Like
He almost killed himself.
Dude almost died for real. Like, Man, we'll see what happens. They got another year
Yo,
to
Hey,
break.
he was willing to die about it though.
Let Paul George take a pill or get a shot and hop in this motherfucker. Shit, that shit he did in that motherfucking layup line at at the warm up that got him tested. That was a dunk contest dunk. Give me PG on PBs.
So
Oh man, that
before
is
we went
definitely clip
live,
worthy.
well, clip that. Nah, they got a feature with StreamYard. If I say that, it'll do it. Like
Oh,
when it goes and generates, it'll actually clip that portion.
hilarious. That was hilarious. Yeah, put Paul George in
So
there.
before we came on, Raj had informed me that, and I'll let you speak on it because I don't know much about it.
Mhm.
Kevin Durant has another burner account.
Oh man, yo, what is going on with Kevin Durant? This dude is an absolute maniac. I don't know if you guys. Wait, we just lost R&B.
Uh, yeah, it looks.
He
Yeah,
go, he
he's
going
doing.
to he going to cover up his burner account that he used to attack Nick Van Exel.
All right, you guys can hear me though, right?
We can hear you.
All right, real quick. I'm not gonna be long-winded with it, but Kevin Durant allegedly been using his burner account and going into like Twitter Spaces and group chats, talking smack about his former teammates. Those are the likes of Steph Curry, Devin Booker, his current teammates, Jabari Smith, calling him the R word. If you know what I'm saying about the R word, it's saying that he's like a Make a Wish kid, basically.
uh,
I'm not trying to get this. I'm not trying to get this channel snatched. But you know,
we need to
Man,
run a disclaimer.
but the point is, Kevin Durant is wilding. He was making fun of Kyrie Irving. That was the most funniest thing I've ever heard, though. If it's him, he said, "Oh, he said Kyrie Irving over there acting nice to these white folks playing for these European players. Yet when he's with us, he didn't do none of that shit. He said you would have thought shit in his cereal. That was the most funniest thing ever. Um, he talked about the James Harden leaving, and also last but not least, he said he misses Ben Simmons. If this is Kevin Durant, if you look at his face during the All Star game, he looked completely out of it. He looked like he got busted. If this is Kevin Durant's real burner account, yo, it is a wrap for the Houston Rockets. You might
Man,
as well,
he done pulled a D-Lo, man. He did a D'Angelo
yeah,
Russell, bro.
on a
ain't
yes.
nobody fucking with him. That's
Ain't
probably why he's
nobody
looking weird. Ain't nobody fucking with him on none of them teams.
exactly, and that's the thing. Nobody's friends with Kevin Durant in real life. Every friend that he had, he became enemies with, including Kyrie. I didn't even know he felt that way about Kyrie until this came out, and then it all kind of made sense because Kevin Durant is that type of dude, man. He's super sensitive. He remembers everything about what you say about him. So I don't know, man. He just got to just get off of Twitter. That's my take on it.
well, I mean, if he spent as much energy into trying to win a championship without his father as he did in these burner accounts, he might have one by now.
Oh, it's funny you said that because he said Steph Curry, Steph Curry, he said if you don't pass the ball to Steph Curry, the whole team is against you. He said that Steve Kerr doesn't fuck with dark skinned dudes because Jordan punched him in his face.
Yeah, this
Yo,
dude is wild.
this is better than the Epstein files, man. This is better.
Hey, that's why he keep fucking with Draymond.
And that's why Kaminga's not on the team no more.
Draymond be triggering flashbacks for he saw
Oh
him punch
shit!
Jordan Poole. Steve Kerr just went into the corner.
He closed the door. He closed the office door and went in the corner. Oh shit! Oh damn! Yo, that is crazy. And that's why Kaminga's not on the team. It kind of reminded him of Jordan. That makes perfect sense. Damn.
Oh,
And last but not least, I hate to do this, but Steph Curry got some files coming out as well. He got some sus videos.
Oh, gee.
The
Oh,
Steph
damn.
Curry files is coming out, ladies and gentlemen. You
Well,
heard it first here.
I guess
You
he
heard
can
it
shoot
first
other.
here on Nerdcamp Sports. Steph
He
Curry
can,
files are coming out.
I gotta ask. Is it AI, bro?
No, that was a real footage of Steph Curry in college getting fed, I guess, pizza by his teammates. I don't know. It's some weird stuff, man. Look it up. It's disgusting, but yeah, Steph Curry files are next. The NBA is on fire right now when it comes down to social media presence.
Sweet Jesus.
oh boy. So, well, hopefully R&B gets back before we do the list, but I do have one more topic before we get there and close out for this Monday. I just read before we came on the show that I read it last year around like October that Mayweather and Mike Tyson had agreed to fight in an exhibition, and now it's been officially made for April 25th of this year that Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather will hop in the ring and have an exhibition. I'm just saying, how much longer are we gonna do this? How much longer are we gonna do these fast money grabs? Because and I'm not saying it in the sense because I'm still obviously gonna watch it, right? Like I'm not even like saying that I'm not, but it's just like, damn, what do we gain out of this? I know they're gonna make a lot of money. I know that's what it's about, but it's like, damn, like we gonna do this again. What are y'all
Yeah,
thoughts on this exhibition?
at this point, I don't want to see it, but I'm going to see it. It's like a car accident, you know.
That's what it'll be. That's what it'll feel like a car accident.
You know, it's a car accident. I don't want to see it, but I'm going to see it. And it's one of those money grabs, of course. Floyd Mayweather is broke. He no longer got money, so now he's out here panhandling for views and money. So he's got to fight Mike Tyson. And you know what? If I do have a wish in this fight, I wish that Floyd Mayweather get knocked the hell out. So I might have to put some money down on Tyson winning this fight because I just want to see Floyd Mayweather get his head knocked off before it's all said and done. I was hoping Conor McGregor would do it, but obviously that didn't happen because Conor can't really box. Um, I knew Jake Paul or Logan Paul, whoever fought him. I think it was Logan Paul. When Logan Paul fought him, I knew he wasn't going to be able to do it. So at least can we get Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson fight? That's a real fight, and Mike Tyson knock his head off. Because last time we saw Mike Tyson, he was biting his glove. I don't want to see that.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts on it, Will?
If it's gonna look like what it looked like when he fought Paul, I don't have no interest in watching it. I had some hope for that one because when him and Roy Jones fought, like for what it was a kind of decent fight. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't expecting Prime Roy and Prime Mike. You know what I mean? But they put on, pretty decent show, and they told them like basically like y'all can't knock each other out. So that kind of, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. Like I'm kind of with you, Mike. Like I just feel like it's a money grab, man. Like it's Like what you say,
Right.
Rod? You said like the car accident, right? Like they know we gonna watch.
Yeah,
They know we
they
gonna
know we
slow
gonna
down and
watch.
watch. We might not sit there and focus on it the whole time, but we gonna, you know what I'm saying? We might not
But
pull to a full stop on the freeway.
We
You know
definitely
what I'm
watching.
saying? But we you know what I'm saying? Like
and now that they put these things on Netflix as opposed to pay per view, it's
mm,
easier access. Like now,
yep.
Yeah, everyone's
people
gonna
aren't
watch it.
saying, "Damn, I gotta pay $50 for this." It's more or less like, "Shit, I'm already paying Netflix 20 plus a month. Might as
Might
well
as
put
well
it
watch it.
on."
Might as
Hey,
well.
watch when these Netflix prices go up again
Which
because
is going to happen. That's
they
a
doing
fact.
a lot out here. They doing a lot out here. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I got like I said, I'm gonna watch it. I I would hope with as much money as Floyd done made that he don't need this check. You know, it could just be that they just know the bag is there because I know Mike is pretty successful with his cannabis business, so I'm pretty sure he don't need the money. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I hope this ain't them chasing the bag. It's hopefully it's just sitting there and it's too big for them to turn down. Maybe they just got an offer they couldn't refuse.
fair enough. Well, I don't know where R&B went. I guess it did that glitch shit again. But we're gonna go to the centers list. We can get his list next week if he don't hop back in here. So I'm gonna start it off with my number 10. And to the dismay of Raj, because I already know where this player is on his list, number 10 is Nikola Jokic.
I don't like that. I'm just going to tell you that right off the bat. I don't like that. That's disrespectful. But go ahead, continue.
You
Go
know,
go ahead. Go ahead.
what he's done in his time in the league is nothing short of amazing. And the um pool of centers to be included on this list is a lot smaller than than many think. Like, you got those borderline guys, and it's not taken away from Jokic like he's like a second tier. Um, for him to go higher on this list, um, it can definitely happen. And even I could have probably even switched him around with my number 9 and put him ninth. But we're here. I already wrote the list,
Okay.
and but I got him up there, and I think that he can end higher on this list if he gets a few more accolades under his belt potentially.
Okay. All right. Well, my number 10, real quick, short and sweet, is Yao Ming. Yao Ming, for his
I have
impact.
him as an honorable mention.
Yeah, so I put him as the number 10.
Um, my number 10 is I was literally still just sitting here like wrestling with two or three different names. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna settle on it. Dwight Howard is my number 10. Um, one of the most dominant defensive players I've ever seen. Like for real. Like people, I know he like a punchline now, but
Mm-hmm.
that Orlando run was
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Um, if you wasn't there to see it, you might just not really understand. You know what I'm saying? How good Dwight Howard was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, limited on offense, but still gave 17, 18 a night.
Yep.
um, and real quick, I gotta acknowledge these people because I really had a hard time with this.
Go ahead.
Um, Mikan was like one of the last cuts. Big Ben, one of my last cuts because I almost put him at 10. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like he was every bit as good as Dwight Howard defensively. Um, maybe a little better in some areas, just not as good as him offensively, but led a team to a championship. So he was, you know what I'm saying, in a team that nobody expected to be there. So, um, and then Walton, Bob McAdoo, and big shout out to Lonzo Mourning. But yeah, Dwight Howard was my number 10.
Right. Okay.
Okay, I respect it. So number 9, I couldn't pick between these two players. One of them is Dwight Howard. Um, like you said everything you needed to say. There's just one thing he's done that's important that you left out.
Mm.
I believe he's the only player, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if he's not still the only player, he's the first player to win Defensive Player of the Year 3 times in a row.
Yep.
Is he still the only one, or has Gobert won it 3 times
They-
now in a row?
I think Gobert won it 3 times, but he's one. He's one of. He's one of.
Okay, but he was the first one that
Yeah.
has done that, and I mean defensively he was a monster. That Orlando run was nothing short of amazing. Did they win the championship? No. What year was that they went to the finals? Was that 08?
90. I
Oh,
think it was.
Chuck, 08.
Yeah.
08?
Well, let's see. Cleveland lost to San Antonio in '07. So '08 was Boston, right? And then the Lakers
And the
'09
Magic.
and 2010.
Yeah.
So that would have been '09.
09.
That would
Okay,
have
I
been
knew it
'09.
was in there. So yeah, you got to give credit where it's due. And I mean he's won a dunk contest, and he's not like a prolific dunker, if you will. You know what I mean? And he's won a championship, even though they don't credit it because it was on one of those random Lakers teams. But he still won one. The fact that he's not a top
And what's the
75 player,
factor? He was a factor on that team too. He wasn't just
Definitely
along for
was.
the ride.
He was
yeah,
definitely a factor.
the fact that he's not a top 75 player was disgusting.
Crazy,
Yeah.
And
crazy.
when we get to 100, he better damn sure be on that list for the top 100 players. And I also got him tied with Patrick Ewing. You know, he it goes without saying what Ewing did. One of the greatest centers of all time. A lot of good years with the Knicks. Wasn't able to win that prolific title, but my number 9 is Ewing and Dwight Howard.
Yeah. My number 9, pretty much what Mike said, is Dwight Howard. Super impactful. Won a championship, but it's also the defensive awards that pretty much got him over the top for me because he's probably one of the best defensive players we've ever seen. So number 9, Dwight Howard.
Um, I can go number 8. I got Patrick Ewing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Already spoke on it, Mike. But you know what I mean? Dude that had a lot of. And I'll say in some ways like LeBron before LeBron. You know what I mean? It was a lot put on him. You know what I mean? When he came out in '85.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that they got the all these conspiracy theories about what I'm saying. David Stern
The
fixing the
frozen,
draft,
yeah,
the
the
frozen
frozen envelope.
envelope. You know what I'm saying? And to
Yeah.
go to New York ain't easy. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Meet and exceed expectations. I know he didn't get him a championship, but he got him damn close. And you know what I mean? Shit, it ain't no shame in losing to Mike. But they should have had him that one year when Charles Smith couldn't get the layup. But when Charles Smith let Pippen and Jordan punk him on the baseline and he couldn't at least get a layup. But you can't even put that one on Ewing. But yeah, I got Ewing at 8.
Okay.
Okay.
At number 8, at number 8, I put Dikembe Mutombo. Dikembe Mutombo for me was probably one of the top defensive players as well. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Some about centers and playing defense I think is important. Being a one of those like rim stoppers is always good. So I got Dikembe as number 8.
I also have Dikembe Mutombo at 8. I mean, just that defense, man. And when he hit you with the swag, with the finger wave,
Yep.
yeah, no, I got him at number 8.
uh, Man, he made a lot of history too. He was the first player to win 4 defensive player of the years. And the Denver team was the first team to come back from 2-0, and they won. They was the first 8 seed to be the 1 seed against Seattle, against
Yeah.
Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. Yeah,
Okay, so he's
mad at
definitely
it.
got that history on his side too.
Yep. Number 7, Mike.
Number 7, I have Moses Malone.
Damn.
You know, arguably, depending on who you ask, but arguably the greatest Sixer of all time, arguably. And respectfully, of course. I mean, I believe he won. Oh my gosh, I just had it here too. Now I gotta look it up. Um, just had it in my brain. He's a three-time All Star. Or three-time MVP.
MVP, yeah.
Won a title. 12-time All Star. NBA first team 4 times. NBA second team 4 times. Top 50 advanced 75 player. Defensive all defensive first team. 6-time rebounding leader. I mean, he definitely made his impact. Moses Malone for me is number 7.
Okay. Number 7
Mhm.
for me. Um, I got Ben Wallace.
Okay.
Underrated center because he wasn't a top scorer. He was definitely one of the most impactful centers when they won that championship. So I put him as my number 7.
Okay. Go ahead, Will.
Number 7, I have David Robinson. Uh, won a few championships, especially you know what I mean. Once Tim got there, uh, Olympian, could had post game, could shoot that mid range, could put it on the floor a little bit. One of the best defensive players you ever seen. MVP. Uh, what scored? What 70 something points in the game, trying to win a scoring title. You know what I mean? David Robinson, young David Robinson was a beast, man. At Admiral at number 7.
I got him at number 6. You can't think of centers without naming David Robinson. 2-time NBA champion, 95 MVP, defensive player of the year, one rookie of the year, 10-time All-Star, 10-time All NBA team, 8 selections to the defensive team, 4 first, 4 second, scoring champ, rebound leader at one point, blocks leader, all-time 50th and 75th player. And to make it, making it is, as to still have that impact after all that time, you know, because many of these young kids, they don't know about D Rob. They don't know, man. They just don't know.
Facts. One of the best ever, man. But we at number 6, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Number 6, still playing in the league, and I gotta mention him because I don't know how long we're gonna witness him playing in the league. He's a former MVP. Um, I got Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, even though we kind of make fun of him on his show, and we always saying that he's always hurt, you guys got to remember he's playing on a horrible franchise. He's playing in Philly. He's playing with the 76ers. For some reason, they don't know how to treat their players right. But whenever Joel Embiid plays, he puts up insane numbers when he's healthy, and he helps them win. So I got him as my number 6.
At number 6, I got Nikola Jokic.
What?
Uh,
That low? Come on, Will. I have faith,
yeah.
bro.
Hey, look, I am very comfortable with where I have him at on this list, and I really had to think that part through because
Oh,
it could have been like, look, Joker's what been on what like an 8 year run now, something like that. Like the rest of these people, you know what I mean? Like got had more time. You know what I mean? So he 3 MVPs, championship. Like he's a much higher. He's probably higher on the list of best centers. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes, but like greatness, everything that encompasses that. I feel like 6 is a pretty good spot. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's disrespectful at all.
All right, that's fair. I mean,
Oh,
he's not number 10 like Mike.
listen, give. You gotta give him some grace. You putting him halfway through. So my next number 5 is respectfully. You can't deny what he did, even though obviously the game was a lot different then and than it is now. And like I said, this is respectfully because I did not get to see this particular player play. But when you win 11 rings in a 13-year period, you gotta be on the list. Bill Russell at number 5.
All right, number 5, somebody I did witness play, and you guys already mentioned him, but David Robinson, one of the best centers to ever do it, the Admiral. So I got him as my number 5.
At number 5, I have, and again, damn, this was tough. I got the Nigerian Nightmare, Hakeem the Dream, Olajuwon. Um, him and Jokic might be the most naturally skilled centers I've ever seen.
All
Like,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously Olajuwon was way more athletic, played way better defense and all that stuff, which is part of the reason he's higher on the list because he's also one of the top, one of the best defensive players to ever play the game. Played in the era of the Giants, you know what I'm saying, going against a lot of these guys we talking about right now every night.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Putting dudes like David Robinson in the blender because they gave him that MVP trophy in front of him. You know what I'm saying? They ain't do David Robinson no favors. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But just like I say, just one of the best pure basketball players I've ever seen. And one of those players that I loved watching because I felt like I could see the work that he put into his game when I watched him play. And I feel like he maxed out. You know what I'm saying? Or is as close to maxing out. You know what I mean? As, almost any player, you know what I mean, I've ever seen. Maxing out all of his talent and his skill.
True.
Okay. Well,
Number
I
4.
agree. I agree fully because for me, once again, respect. I've seen a little bit, but respectfully more so. Um, Hakeem Olajuwon's number 4.
Mhm.
Uh, you can't not put him there. I mean, in his list of just of accolades is what you call it. Hold on. It's just like anyone else's. I mean, you look at everything he's done. Obviously, two-time champion, two-time Finals MVP, 94, 94 league MVP. I don't care what anyone says. No one's getting more blocks all time than him. Um, maybe Wimby can. That remains to be seen, but the number 38-30 is insane. That's a lot of blocks. That's a lot of blocks. Like in playing in that, and it was harder in that era. Two-time defensive player of the year. They
And
renamed the
he
trophy.
retired top 5 in steals, I think, too, if I'm not mistaken. He might not be there anymore, but when he retired, he was like top 5 in steals, too.
Yeah.
Top 15 all time in total points, rebounds, and the only player with over 3,000 blocks and 2,000 steals.
Yep.
So, yeah, he speaks for himself. The Dream Shake. Let's just we have to put him there. We have to put him there. Hakeem the Dream, number 4 for me.
Okay. Number 4 for me is, and you guys pretty much did it before with the tie. I try not to do a tie, but I have
Sometimes
to.
it's hard.
It's hard, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're trying to rank them. Um, I got Shaq and Moses Malone. And the reason why I got those guys is because their impact on the game, MVPs. Shaq, of course, 4 championships. And it was hard because I was going to put Moses Malone in there alone, but I was like, I can't disrespect Shaq like that. Like, Shaq is Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Even though I felt like Kobe did carry him a couple of championships, but that's nor here or there. Um, I feel like Shaq deserves his flowers um, on the court. Off the court, I don't agree with a lot of stuff he says or does, but I respect Shaq. So Shaq and Moses Malone.
Who's number 4, right?
Yes, sir.
Number 4, I have Wilt, the Stilt Chamberlain, Mr. 20,000 Women himself.
Allegedly, allegedly, we don't know. We don't know.
Wilt was putting in overtime on the court and off
And
the
off the
court.
court.
Only man to ever play 48 minutes a game and technically played 48.3 because of some overtime games. Uh, 100
This
points,
man was not human.
bro. Look. Before, oh, wait a minute. Let me back up some. Was like a world class sprinter. You know what I'm saying? At 7 feet tall and threw the javelin and did the whatever that thing is when you try to jump over the
The
bar. You
long
know what I
jump.
mean?
Yeah, all
You know
that.
what I'm
He
saying?
did
Like
everything.
played for the Harlem Globetrotters. You know what I'm saying? Won MVP as a rookie and averaged like 30 and 15 or something crazy like that. Averaged 50, averaged
Yeah.
50 and 30. Led the league in assists. Um, all kind of rules changed for him and because of him. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I know a lot of people feel like he should have won more. Like I think again, like the greatness thing versus who's the best. I think
Right.
that Wilt Chamberlain obviously again didn't get to see either one of them with my own 2 eyes, but you can't tell me that Wilt Chamberlain is not a better basketball player than Bill Russell. No disrespect.
Of
Bill
course.
Russell played with like 6 or 7 Hall of Famers or something crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? And had better teams. I know Wilt was, a lot of times he had like problems with ownership, according to them. But in my mind, it's like, no, this was a black man who knew his value in the '60s and was dealing with, you know what I mean, the times that he was living in, and they probably tried to, portray him a certain kind of way because they did Kareem the same way. But just like yeah, um, well, number 4. Again, if this is a list of greatness, you know what I mean. That's the only reason that he had number 4. Because if it was just like the best, he would probably be a spot or 2 higher.
Yep.
Okay. Well, just for me, same thing. Number 3 is respectfully Will Chamberlain, pretty much for all the things you just alluded to. Um, I don't have to say much more because you said it all. Will Chamberlain, number 3.
Yeah. Number 3 for me is Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Man, he's probably the one of the best players outside of Jokic at center that I've watched and witnessed. That I'm like, he's the greatest I've ever seen. And I'm not saying that in a way where it's like he's the greatest player of all time. I'm saying as far as the centers go, because his footwork, his ability to do the right thing at the right time on the court, and plus he just exemplified discipline. Like the fact that he had a Ramadan game, you know what I'm saying? Like he was fasting and he came out there and put up buckets. Like it's just crazy. So I always respected him, man. Shout out to Hakeem Dream Olajuwon. I'm still trying to get one of his rookie cards because that's one collection that I would love to build. Is a collection with Hakeem the Dream, man. He's one of my favorite players.
Okay. What about you, Will?
At number three, I have the late great Bill Russell. Um, look, 11 rings is 11 rings. Like 11 and 13. I don't care what era it's in. I don't care who was on your team. That is insane. To universally be recognized as the heart and soul and backbone of that team. Um, in spite of, playing with the Bob Cousy's and the John Havliceks and but the other Hall of Famers that he played with, that's who everybody looked to as that guy. To do it, and again, like I was just saying, about Wilt, like to do it in the time and the era that he did it um, in a city that really hated him outside of when he was playing basketball for them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and all the history and what I mean, all like just legendary in all kinds of ways that I don't even have the words to, articulate it. Um, Ultimate respect due to him. Again, if we were just talking about best, then he would probably be lower on my list. Um, but like all the greatness that comes along with him, and everything that he means to the NBA and the basketball, absolutely hands down number three on my list.
Okay. I ain't mad at it. Number two. I seen just about everything this man has done, with my own eyes. Like I said, I agree with Raj. He mentioned that he doesn't agree with a lot of the things he says off the court or outside of basketball. But to me, one of the smartest businessmen right now in the world, one of the most marketable celebrities in the world right now, as well. A four-time NBA champion, three-time Finals MVP, an MVP player, three-time All-Star Game MVP, two-time scoring champion, one of only three players to win MVP, All-Star Game MVP, and Finals MVP in the same season. A man that they changed the rules of basketball because of this man. Like people don't understand that this man broke backboards. Half a shot. Like they changed the rules because of this man. Shaquille O'Neal.
Even
Shaquille
his
O'Neal.
own defense, even
Say
his
that
own
again.
defense,
Zone defense, yeah.
even that zone defense, that had a lot to do with Shaq.
Yep, sure did. Yeah.
Shaq is listen. I remember one interview with him. He was talking, and I don't remember what they asked him. I can't lie, but I remember what his response. He says, "I don't care about none of that. When it's all said and done, I want to be known as one of the baddest to ever play." And whether you love him now or hate him, or think he's nuts, or you don't like what he says on that court, um, it was another game. I only wish that him and Kobe would have been able to play together longer. Because if you think, in my honest opinion, they might have won 6 championships,
Oh
or
yeah, no doubt.
maybe and before I let you go, one other point I seen the other day was someone was interviewing Kobe about it, and they had asked him that same question: "Do you believe you and Shaq collectively could have got to 6?" And he actually didn't say yes, but he didn't say no because he gave respect to the Spurs. He said San Antonio was hard, because even though they weren't gleaming, right? Like they weren't like the sexiest team to watch, right? They were very fundamentally boring. But
Mm-hmm.
you wasn't if you were gonna beat them, they were gonna make sure you beat them. They weren't gonna beat themselves, and they weren't going to let you win. You had to go out there and beat them. But number 2 for me, Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay. Number 2 for me, pretty much you guys covered him, but um, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Um, Kareem, he is who he is. You know what I'm saying? The 6 championships, the success that he had in college. List goes on and on and on. So I put him at number 2.
At number 2, I have the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. This dude had like 4 different careers. It was Orlando Shack, which was, you know what I mean, younger,
Yep.
little more athleticism, little slimmer, ran up and
Orlando
down the
Shack
court.
was
You know what
Orlando
I'm
Shack
saying?
was crazy.
Right,
Crazy.
right. You know what I'm
Orlando Shack was nuts. Like that
Yeah,
dude was
that was
like
my favorite. That was my favorite
saying?
Shaq.
And then you get LA Shack, which
Mm-hmm.
was the Diesel. You know what I'm saying? Um, then you had Miami Shack, who wasn't quite LA Shack, but was
Mm-hmm.
still, you know what I'm saying, like the best center in the league. And then, you got Journeyman Shack. Um,
We gonna call that Journeyman Shaq, the Cavalier Shaq.
well, you had Cavalier Shack, you had Boston Shack,
Celtics. Yeah.
it
Phoenix
was,
Shack.
it was Phoenix
Phoenix,
Shack.
Phoenix Suns. Yep. Phoenix
Yep,
Suns. He
yep,
was actually
yep.
balling in Phoenix though. He was balling in Phoenix.
Nah, he was all
He was.
right. He was all right. They broke up 7 seconds or less for him. I don't. That's a whole
Yeah,
nother conversation.
they did.
That's
They
a whole
did.
nother
We got to
conversation.
talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but and had the benefit of playing with, you know what I mean, Kobe, Penny, and D Wade, and other than Penny, you know what I mean, like capitalized on the mother one. Uh, Easily the most dominant player I've ever seen in my life. I remember during the second and the third championship, watching them Lakers and watching how they was doing Indiana and Jersey, and it's just like, oh God, nobody else in the NBA is gonna win a championship for the next 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Because it just
Right.
wasn't fair how he was doing them. Um, it's that picture of him dunking on the whole New Jersey Nets team, like literally. Like it's Diesel, man. Number 2. Could have been number 1. Like could have been number 1, but Diesel number 2 for me.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't not give him his due. You can't. But even though Diesel was number 2, he ain't number 1. And I mean, other than Raj,
Mm-hmm.
there's really only one correct answer to be number 1. 6-time NBA champion, 2-time MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, 6-time MVP, 19-time All Star, 10-time first All NBA, 5 times All NBA second team, 5-time Defensive Player first team, 6-time NBA All Defensive second team, NBA Rookie of the Year, NBA All First Rookie team, 2-time scoring champion. He was a rebound leader, led the league in blocking 4 times, had his number retired by the Bucks and the Lakers, made the 35th, 50th, and 75th anniversary teams. I mean, he had the most unstoppable shot in NBA history. Fuck that. Basketball history. This man did it. He would go, he knew the spot, you knew what he was going to do, you knew when he was going to do it, and you could not stop it. And number 1 is Kareem Abdul Jabbar.
Okay. That's cool. But the greatest center of all time, in my opinion, is Nikola Jokic. Triple double machine. If he wants to put up a quadruple double, he could. Because this man gives you buckets, he gets you the rebounds, and he gets you the assists. He does everything except receive the tickets at the front door. He does everything. That is my number one, and he's always going to be number one, no matter what anyone says. I don't care how many damn championships he wins, because it doesn't matter, because it's a team sport. My number one is Nikola Jokic.
Raj, I don't know if Joker go ever get you 10 blocks or 10 steals, bro.
He can do it. He can do it. He can do it. He can get those 10 blocks.
In theory. I'm just messing with you. Mike laid it all out, man. Number one for me, gotta be Kareem. I didn't. I guess I saw like the tail end of his prime. I saw him play some really good basketball, but again, got the Bucks their first championship. Um, people look. I'm not even about to even get to all the stats and all the accolades because Mike laid out all of that very, very
Yep.
well.
Appreciate
People
it.
people be hating on LeBron and say LeBron created super teams and you know what I mean. Oh, people wanted to jump ship and da 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 da. Kareem was the first one to publicly say, "I don't want to be here anymore.
That's a fact.
Trade me."
Yo,
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't even think of it like that. You are 1,000% right. And that was in his documentary too. Wow.
Kareem was Kawhi before Kawhi. I got y'all championship. Get me out of here.
Yep.
Because I don't want to be here. You know what I'm saying? Went to LA, you know what I mean? Hooked up with Magic, Worthy, where I know Worthy wasn't there for all five, it was three or whatever, but that was I ain't even gonna say like the Celtics was the first super team, but Kareem's significance to the game did a Bruce Lee movie, bro. Come on now.
Yeah.
Like man, you know what I'm saying?
No
Like
doubt.
what only lost one game or something like that in college. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, like so much history with that dude, and it like was the author of my first, not even my first heartbreak, but when the '88 Phantom Files in Game 6 of the NBA Finals, when they called that Phantom Foul on Lambeer and he hit them two free throws to beat us,
Oh
you know what I mean,
man.
and send it to Game 7. That was the game Isaiah went off on the bad ankle. But yeah, I hate that dude sometimes. But I'm gonna show him the respect that he's due. Um, greatest center of all time, in my opinion.
Wow, man, oh man, that was good. That was good. What list what position you want to move to next week?
Let's do point guard.
Damn, that's gonna be hard. You want to do
Now,
point
we
guard?
need it. I think that'll be a good list because you know what? Everyone's list should be a little bit different. That's one of those things where it's like it depends on how you view the game.
Point guard. Okay, but and I guess I should say this. I don't need to, but I'm gonna say it. It needs to be positional, right? So like, I don't want to see people who were shooting guards that played point guard, right? Like
Okay, so
you know,
basically we can't put Ben Simmons now. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it.
you know,
Oh, all right,
So
so
that
wait. So like, what about AI? Do you consider AI a point guard or a
to me,
shooting guard?
AI was a shooting
Exactly.
guard.
Yeah, he was a shooting guard, but
So what about Steph?
shooting guard.
Steph is a point guard.
No, he's a shooting guard.
Wait, so why is Steph a point guard? And
With
I'm not
my,
like I'm curious to hear, you know what I mean, like what you think. I ain't, being combative.
I'm just saying when you look at it positionally, like if you want to look at it opinionally, either way is fine. But positionally, AI was a shooting guard, even though he did run point quite a bit. But Mainly, he was a shooting guard. Steph is a point guard. There's no one that they've ever moved. I mean, the same could be said for Harden. Harden was moved to point guard, but to me, I don't see him as a point guard.
Okay,
That's
so
just my.
I got an idea. How about we do this? We put guards because it gets kind of murky in the 90s. In the 90s and the 2000s, it gets kind of weird because you got Penny Hardaway. You know what I'm saying? You got Steph Curry in the 2000s.
But they didn't really want scoring point guards like that. You know what I mean? Before around that time you talking about, and like you saying, before you had John Stockton. Uh,
Right.
Look, Isaiah could get you 30 if you need him to get you 30. But you
Right.
know what I'm saying? He was a pass first point guard. Even Magic averaged, 19, 20, 21. But the
Mm-hmm.
older Kareem got, then Magic started scoring more because that's what the team needed him to do. Like, you know what I mean? But back then it was really like pass first point guards. Even like with Jay Kidd is, like a generation after them or whatever. But it was still kind of, you know what I mean? Teams was really looking for pass first point guards. Penny was 6'7". So you know what I mean. Him and Magic was
Yeah.
anomalies. You know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah. That's true.
Um, they were in their own different lane. Rod Strickland, pass first point guard. Uh, Mark Price to get you buckets, pass first point guard. You know what I mean? Because he had Brad Doherty and Larry Nance and Greg Elo and you know what I mean. So even like Derek Harper, you know what I mean. He had Orlando Blackman and Mark Aguirre before he got traded to the Pistons. So like it was back then, it was really about pass first point guards. It wasn't really scoring guards like that. Like, Oscar Robinson was again an anomaly. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? He was way before his time. You know,
All right. Well, so then
Tim
let's.
Hardaway. Tim Hardaway could get you a bucket, pass first point guard. So,
True.
All right. So let's. Matter of fact, I'll
and
leave it
look,
open.
Mike. I do think that Steph Curry is a point guard. I don't disagree that he is, but you can make the argument that Draymond is the point guard of that team. You know what I'm saying?
You can agree. We can make the argument that Draymond's the reject that needs to go as well. Listen, well, one thing you will
Look,
learn about me if you don't know, Raj can tell you my hatred for
Oh,
Draymond
Draymond.
Green. Oh God, my wife's looking at me now because you done started it. I
why,
hate Draymond Green.
why you
Listen,
got beef with Draymond, bro?
I hate everything about him. I hate his skin.
No,
I hate his
no,
hairline.
no,
I
no,
hate his
no, no,
teeth.
no,
I,
no,
I,
no,
I hate his
no, no.
face. I hate the way he talks. I hate the way he walks. I hate the way his elbows are ashy. I hate everything about Draymond Green. I do not like him at all.
Oh
I just, oh my God, it sickens me. Like he's disgusting on so many
man.
levels. I just
Oh
hate him. Oh my God, I hate the grays in his hair. I just wish Adam Silver let him retire when he said he was gonna walk away. It's so bad. My wife's walking outside. I hate Draymond
Tell your
Green.
wife, my bad. I ain't mean to get you fired up
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. That she didn't know.
that.
She really didn't know. Oh man, yeah, that's a trigger for him.
Ron just started laughing. He said, "Damn, I can't even do nothing to stop it now."
No, he got to go through the whole list.
Hey,
Oh
look,
man, that is
look,
definitely a trigger.
y'all know I'm not mad. I went on my whole Boston rant, right? When we was talking about the Patriots and I had to break it all
Facts.
down for y'all so
Yeah,
I ain't
nah.
mad at it. I get it, brother. I
Yeah,
just was curious where it came from.
I've always, I've always hated Draymond Green. Raj can tell you, I've
yeah,
never
that's a fact.
liked him, ever,
Okay.
never. I don't like him. Like, oh my God! And then they give him so much credit, and I just don't like him at all. Never. He's the king of the triple single, and they love him.
Man.
They love him. He's the triple single king, and they love this. I can't say that because we'll get
Yeah,
canceled.
nah, yeah, we'll cancel. Don't do that.
You
I
know,
get it. We
because
get it. We get it.
we get it.
Oh man, nah, there's a lot there with Draymond. I agree, I agree. But you know what? I would say this: I can't wait until his ass retires. I can't wait.
Retire
I,
tomorrow.
I didn't really appreciate Draymond until he got to Golden State and got out on the court because I'm a Michigan fan, so I don't really Michigan fan. I'm sorry, so
Yeah,
I don't really watch Michigan State like that. Um, I knew who he was, obviously, like you know what I mean, but I don't know. I got respect for Draymond, man. I got respect for his game. I got respect for his game.
I hear you. I hear
They
you.
don't win them championships without him. I'll say that.
Oh no, no doubt.
Or
I
at
agree
least
with
not
that.
the first one and the fourth one. If they get KD without Draymond, they still go crazy.
Yeah,
But
but I also feel like he's overrated. I feel like a lot of his contributions to the team, especially now, is more overrated than it was when he first got the championship with the Golden State Warriors. Like there was a lot that he did. Not trying to discredit him,
yeah,
but the game have changed, and he's just never changed with it. Like he never worked on his game. I feel like he just basically rode off of those first two championships he got. So I don't know. That's just my opinion on him.
hey,
I,
that
I,
brother getting
I
old, man.
yeah,
and he was basically an undersized center his whole career. So he spent his whole career banging around with the kind of guys that we was just talking about. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
exactly. And that's the thing. Like I look at that as well. Like the fact that he's playing center and he's only like what 6'6", 6'7" maybe
On a good day.
on a good day, right? That's crazy. Like, what kind of offense are you running? What kind of defense are you running, Steve Kerr? That's why I don't like Steve Kerr because I feel like a lot of his stuff that he does is out of spite. Like, it's not out of like knowledge of knowing the game. You know what I'm saying? And low key, I kind of agree with what Kevin Durant said. He hate dark skinned niggas. I'm starting to believe that. I'm starting to believe that. I'm starting to believe that because if you think about it, all the dudes that played good on the Golden State Warriors were light
Oh,
skinned dudes.
You say that's why Buddy Hill was struggling out there.
too dark.
That's why he got Kaminga up out of there. That's why James Wiseman is out of there. Yo, Kevin Durant exposed Steve Kerr for I can't call it racism, colorism.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Man.
After Michael Jordan punched him in his face, he don't like dark skinned niggas. That is a fact. I gotta put that on a t-shirt. Oh man.
Oh man.
Ah,
Oh, that was great. Well, I feel like sometimes these shows with less topics flow so much smoother than when we have a bunch of topics.
I
Oh
agree.
my gosh. But, that's it for this week. That's all I got. Is there anything else you gentlemen want to cover?
That's it. That's it. Make sure you guys oh, by the way, the baseball class is coming up next month. I just want to keep reminding people that because that's probably going to be the most competition we'll see this whole entire year. I'm talking about like real competition. The World Baseball Classic comes up next month, man. Just want to remind everybody.
All right. Well, we got some changes coming too. So, we'll be definitely doing some different things. I've been working on some stuff behind the scenes, and that stuff will be coming in the coming weeks. But we will be back next week with another episode of Nerdcamp Sports. Raj will be hosting next week, and
Yes.
we're gonna be on it. So everyone have a good week. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Enjoy your family, your friends, and whoever you love and care about. And we will see y'all next week, next Monday, same time, same place. Peace.
Hey.
Take it easy, fella.
Later.